Hello and welcome to the next in the series of Enterprise videos. This video we are looking at the shield visuals on the Constitution 3 class, or the Neo Constitution, seen in Star Trek Picard, and this of course is the Enterprise G. So in this video, as with the others, we'll look at the shield visuals on the ship itself, and these will be from the Tier 6 reputations, the Phoenix store, the Zen store, and the Summer and Winter Event store. Then we'll also look at the shields that have visuals in the game that can be applied as either a shield for your ship or just purely for the visuals. So the first section, we'll look at the Vanity Shields from Tier 6 of the reputation system. So these are your Discovery, Omega, Nukara, 8472 and so forth reputations in the game. First up, we have the 8472 Vanity Shield, and we see a bit of the green there on the deflector and a bit of hull pattern in there. And look from the rear, you see this green on the impulse engines as well as this ridge effect. Now you'll notice that unlike previous videos that we've looked at, the Bajor collectors remain orange on this one, and the nacelles remain blue. On this particular model, it is for two reasons. One, the modelling underneath this Bajor collector is a couple of lights there, so they won't change with the hull material or with the Vanity Shield. And because on the Constitution 3 it has this effect on the click of the console that the nacelles open up like it did in the show, so it doesn't change colour there either. So for all these shields, the nacelles remain the same, it will just be the pattern effect and the impulse engines that we'll look at. And then let's look at the top down, and you see the dark grey with the lighter grey material. See a bit of detail there on the phaser strips and around the bridge module, and this green piping coming down here. And then it's pretty much the same on the other side. We've got this slightly light green or even cyan striping here at the deflector array. Same again on all parts of the hull, and predominantly it's this grey and light grey making up the pattern. Next up is the competitive Wargames Vanity Shield. So we've got the yellow on the deflector, and you see some of these yellow reflective panels here showing just underneath the saucer, and we'll have a look at that in a moment. Got a nice orange effect here to the impulse engines. There's some of that yellow reflective paneling here on the aft of the ship. See more of it there on the nacelles and the pylons. It's giving this nice V pattern to the hull as well. So look a bit more. You see here at the back of the bridge module and down the spine there, you've got some more of those reflective paneling. Same around the front here. You've got this yellow lighting effect at the phaser strips, and more reflective paneling on the nacelles and down the secondary hull to the shuttle bay. And then as we look at the underside, quite a bit more of this yellow reflective patches here that do reflect in the light. Next up is the Delta Alliance Vanity Shield. So we've got this very vibrant green glow to the deflector array, and this teal colour around the edge of the deflector housing. We've got the green up here on the impulse engines, and with some of this teal colour just above the shuttle bay, and a bit of the green lighting effects at the back of the nacelles. And same again on the pylons there. And there's that teal colour going around the saucer, around the impulse housing and down the spine of the ship as well, and a little bit there on the nacelles. And same again there on the underside. This is the Discovery Legends Vanity Shield, so this is the oil and water effect that it just applies all over the ship. So it's retaining the base hull materials, in this case the Constitution 3, so it's giving you the same effects on your impulse, and well, the nacelles don't change on this model. But yeah, so it just gives this swirly, oily effect to the ship that changes slightly as you rotate through the light. And see a bit more there in the shade, and then it lightens up as the light hits it. Next up is the Dyson Joint Command Vanity Shield. So this is quite a nice dark grey hull material, and it's got this pink lighting strips throughout it as if it's been carved into the ship. So again, we're retaining the orange of the impulse engines there. And you can see this pattern of pink etching, and then some more darker grey etching there on the hull material. A bit better of the pattern as you look at the overall size of the saucer and the secondary hull. And same again there on the underside. Next up is the metallic purple of the Gamma Vanity Shield. So again, we've got the purple deflector array here, and we've got a little bit of purple lighting there on the pylons from the nacelles. I've got the purple impulse engines there, and then what a mixture of the dark purple and the metallic purple going on. Again, nacelles remain unchanged, and it's just this nice lighting effect that we see here going through. And as we rotate through the light, we'll get that nice metallic shine off of it, and it's turning the purple to a dark blue shade there. And you've got purple there for the phaser strips, and at the shuttle bay doors there, and same again as we rotate through the underside. Then we come to the Iconian Resistance Vanity Shield. So we've got this grey and pale green, a pink deflector array there, and what this purple design, and you can see here at the front of the saucer. We've got a pinkish purple for the impulse engines. Here we get a better view of that pale green with the dark grey pattern with this purple design going through it. A bit more of that there on the saucer and top of the secondary hull. And a bit more of it there on the underside. And you've got this nice pattern effect here at the deflector housing. This is the Lukari Restoration Initiative Vanity Shield. So this is designed to give your ship a Lukari look. So we've got a purple deflector, we've got this pale green for the hull material effect going on, and there's a bit of lighting there we can just make out on the underside of the saucer. Got a spectrum for the colouring here of the impulse engines, and there's light coming down the spine of the ship, and a bit of light there on the edge of the pylons. We've got a mixture of the dark grey and this pale green pattern effect to the hull itself. Rotate through, we get a nice shine off of it as we come through, and then looking down we can see a better of that spectrum lighting coming down the spine of the ship and around the front there of the bridge module, and then we've got a bit of colouring there for the phaser strips as well. Same again on the other side, we've got a bit of a purple lighting effect on the underside, and then this lovely effect here just at the front of the deflector array. And we come to this new Romulus Reman Vanity Shield. So this is your metallic greens, reds and browns on this one. So we've got the green and deflector array. You can see a mixture of the metallic green, reds and browns there on this underside of the saucer. At the back we've got this green for the impulse engines and this light panelling here. You can see it very lit up here on the shuttle bay doors. You see more of the light panelling and some more of the stripes and that affecting the nacelles. Then there's a mixture of the reds, browns and greens there on the hull itself. you see that metallic shine there as we rotate through the light. And again, more of that light pattern there showing on the top of the saucer sections and above the impulse engines there. And you can see that very, very bright shuttle bay at the rear. And then the underside, predominantly at the bottom of the nacelles, we've got that light panelling and a bit here round about the impulse engines. And a stripe pattern there at the front of the deflector array. And the Nukara Strikeforce Vanity Shield. So this is designed to make your ship look like a Tholian ship. So we have a very bright, vibrant white and blue deflector there. We've got this almost stone effect pattern to the hull. Got the yellow for the impulse engines. Yeah. And then you see more of this detailed pattern mixed in with this stone-like effect as well. If you've seen the other videos, you'll recall that normally the nacelles go for a cyan blue on the Bajor collectors and yellow effect for the nacelle itself. So just unfortunate this isn't the case on this particular ship model in the game. Nice bit of reflection there as we rotate through the light. Quite a bit of detail showing there with various different lighting effects. Same again there on the underside. And we're back to this little stripe pattern here at the front of the deflector as well. Next up is the Omega Force Vanity Shield. So we have a honeycomb pattern here on the deflector. Got a hint of the blue check pattern there at the front of the pylons for the nacelle. See a bit more of that check pattern there at the impulse housing and again there on the shuttle bay. And again, various parts of it there going along the nacelles and a little bits here on the side of the hull. So look at the top down, we've got the blue effect there on the phaser arrays and just more of this pattern effect with the blue check throughout the ship itself. And it's the same again there on the underside. This hull pattern, which is again at the front there of the deflector, and the blue there on the phaser strips and the blue check pattern at various points of the hull and the pylons there. It's time to take a bit of a trip here with the Temporal Defence Initiative Vanity Shield. A lot of colours going on here, so predominantly the light purple for the hull material, and then you've got these patches throughout the ship with these various spectrum of colours changing hues as we rotate through. So we've got the yellow deflector and this mixture of yellows and purples and blues on the outside of the deflector there. At the back with this very vibrant pink for the impulse engines. You see some of this light piping that's occurring here at the back. Bit more of that lighting piping that's going on at various parts through the nacelle, the pylons, the secondary hull, and you see a bit more of it there on the saucer as well. A lot of little patches here that as we rotate through the light you'll see do change colour as we're rotating through, and it's the same there on the top. That big bit of the spine going down the ship there, and at various points so I keep rotating through, you'll see it all changing colour there. And same again there on the underside, quite a lot of colour changing even at the bottom of the deflector array there, and you've got some more of that light piping effect just at the front of the housing. And then there's also this bit of a leathery effect going on, it's patches on the secondary hull here and underneath the nacelles. And the last shield from the tier 6 of the reputations is the Terran Task Force Vanity Shield. So here we have a yellow deflector, we've got some blue lighting effects going on here on the underside of the saucer, and some yellow lighting there as well. Looking at the back, it's a very, very light, almost white effect there for the impulse engines with the blue mixed in. And you see more of this blue lighting effect going on this dark hull material at various points. as we rotate through, you see the yellow lighting there on the phaser strips, and more of the blue lighting at various points on the hull, and the same there as we rotate through to the underside. Next section we are looking at the shields from the summer and winter event store. So the summer event ones has the baseball series of Vanity Shields, and as of this recording the winter event only has one shield, and that is the first one we shall look at, and this will be the Fek'lhri Vanity Shield. So we've got a small angry deflector array there with the reds, orange and a bit of white. And we've got the orange there on impulse engines, and we've got this red pattern effect here at the back of the impulse housing, plus there on the shuttle bay. We've got red striping on the nacelles, and mixed in with this dark grey hull material is a bit of rustic red as well coming through it, and then more there of the red pattern effect. As we rotate through, you can see more of that grey with the red there at the back near the impulse engines, but predominantly there on the main hull material it is almost like sparkles of red mixed in with the grey. And you can see that red shuttle bay a bit better there, and you see the red stripes reflecting a bit more as we rotate through, and it's the same again there on the underside. So the first of the summer event shields from the baseball series, and this is the Andorian blue bores. So we have a orange and blue Vanity Shield, so you can see the blue and the orange pattern here on the hull, the orange deflector array. And we've got the orange here on the impulse engines, and we've got a mixture of the orange and blue there on the shuttle bay. And the rest of the material is just pretty much the colour pattern of the blue and orange. Quite a nice reflection of it as we rotate through the light source. Next up it's the Bozeman Titans Vanity Shield. So this is a grey and yellow Vanity Shield. The yellow there on the deflector array, yellow for the impulse engines, then we've got a mixture of the yellow and almost black striping there for the shuttle bay, and then the rest of the ship is just a pattern there of the grey and yellow materials. These Vanity Shields all follow very similar colour matching on the ship. So there's the nice metallic yellow shine off it as we rotate through it, and same again there on the underside. Then we come to the Caitian Claws. So this is the purple and orange, almost goldy colour effect to the shield. So with the shield deflector, and you see the colour pattern there on the hull, with the orange here on the impulse engines, and that's almost a goldy colour there mixed in with the purple for the shuttle bay, and the same with the similar pattern matching for the colour effect as the other baseball shields. A nice shine off it as we rotate through. So I change the colour of the phaser arrays there in the saucer. And same again there on the underside. Moving on, we come to the Deep Space Niners. So this is based off of the uniforms that the cast wore in the Star Trek Deep Space Nine Season 7 episode Take Me Out to the Holosuite. So the baseball one, funnily enough. So we've got mixtures of oranges, reds, blues and greyish white colours. You can see they're quite an angry looking deflector array. And we've got the orange up here on the impulse engines. We've got the striped pattern here on the shuttle bay. Again, we've got the mixtures of the orange, reds and blues and greys here throughout the ship material itself. Get a nice red orange shine off of it as we rotate through. And same again there on the underside. Love it or hate it, we are looking at the Denebian Slime Devils Vanity Shield next. So we've got the mixtures of the greens and purples. We've got a green deflector array there, and then the hull's your two-tone with the green and purple. Green there on the impulse engines, the striped effect there on the shuttle bay with the green and purple. And then as we've seen on the other baseball shields, same pattern effect, just changing the colours to match the relevant Vanity Shield. Taking through, we get a nice little bit of shine off the light on this one. And same again there on the underside. Here's the Ferenginar Liquidators Vanity Shield, so a gold and green effect with a yellow deflector there. Got yellow up there on the impulse engines, again the same stripe pattern here on the shuttle bay. And then the main hull itself is just the gold and green effects from the colour matching on the model. Nice shine there as we rotate through again. And same again on the underside. Next up is the stem bolts, and we have a very pink and white Vanity Shield here. So here's the white deflector. We've got the multiple tones of pink and the grey and some white mixed in as well. Got the greyish white here for the impulse engines, same effect there on the shuttle bay. As you can see, the whole pattern is the same, just alternating between the dark pink, the lighter pink, and this greyish white effect as well. Rotating through, you can see that metallic pink shine to it. Same again there on the underside. Next up is the shield from those lovable, logical individuals. This is the Vulcan Logicians Vanity Shield, so based off of their uniform in that Season 7 episode of Deep Space Nine, Take Me Out to the Holosuite. So in this one we have a mixture of greys, purples and golds. So there we have the purple deflector, you can see the grey and purple showing on the hull from the front there. We've got the purple on the impulse engines. The same pattern effect there on the shuttle bay, a nice bit of lighting effect there as well from the ship designers. And then you have your mixture of, there's a bit of gold up there underneath the bridge module, and predominantly the rest of it is your grey and purple effect on the machine, on the hull material. As we rotate through, we get this almost metallic bluish purple shine off the ship. And there's more of the gold there going down the spine. And the last of the summer event shields is the Workbees. So we've got a mixture of reds and browns and bronzy colours and some gold in this one. They're orange up on the impulse engines, that effect there on the shuttle bay and the spine of the ship there. Rotate through, we get this nice reddish shine off the ship, very metallic looking. And same there on the underside. The next section we're looking at is shields from the Phoenix and Zen store. So, time of recording, we only have one shield in the Zen store. and that is the first one we'll have a look at, and that is the Alliance Vanity Shield. So this is from the Khitomer Alliance bundle, where you get the shield, the uniforms and a tech upgrade. So here we have the white and dark grey effect here on the hull, this cyan blue on the deflector, with this orange effect here on the impulse engines, and this goldy colour here on the shuttle bay, as well as some of that blue cyan there just above it. And the hull material itself is just a mixture of the dark grey, the gold and the white. And we have the cyan blue in the bridge module there, and just more of the gold and grey pattern effects, with a little bit of the red piping showing there. We'll see the gold there on the phaser strips, and same again on the underside, and then more of this red piping going around this section of the underside of the saucer. Next up is one of the more popular shields in the game, the Bajor Vanity Shield. So this is from the Phoenix store. Now the shields from the Phoenix store are only available during certain times of the year. They're not in there permanently. I wish they were. It would be a good deal sync for the game and help the problem with the deal exchange. It sits at about 13.5 million on offer at the moment as of time of this recording. This nice dark red here on the impulse engines, this nice dark grey smooth effect here on the hull material. I see a bit brighter there on the actual nacelle itself. So rotate it through, we get a nice shine of the light off of it, and you can see some of the pattern on the material itself on the hull. It's designed to give your ship that Bajor vessel look to it, which is ironic because when I got the Bajor Sentry vessel I actually changed it to, I think it was the Alliance Vanity Shield or the Kelvin Divergence one, can't recall which. Now here we have the Borg Vanity Shield. Now it is slightly misleading, as a lot of people are expecting this to give you an assimilated look to your ship, but this is actually designed off of the liberated Borg. So we have the blue here in the deflector, we've got this hull patch look to the hull itself, so not as smooth as the other shields that we've looked at. We have the blue here on the impulse engines, we've got some blue lighting effect going on in the shuttle bay, and some of this yellow lighting effect here, that's to give it a conduit look at the rear here. And you see more of that blue and gold lighting, just to look at it as exposed circuitry and conduits, rather than actually having the hull plates in place over them, and a bit there at the rear of the ship. And you see that vibrant light colour there in the shuttle bay, bit better view from the top of the nacelles, and a bit more of this exposed underside of the hull plating on the saucer as well. And it's the same again there on the underside. So next up we have the Discovery Vanity Shield, so to give you that look of ships from Season 1 of Star Trek Discovery. So we've got a very white looking deflector array, a light grey hull material, got this honeycomb red pattern here on the impulse engines. And you see a bit of the lighter and darker patch work here going on in the cells and parts of the hull. And the phaser strips there are a bit lighter as well. And we come to the Emperor's Vanity Shield. So again, this smooth material look to the hull, very reminiscent of the bow and the Section 31 Vanity Shields. We've got this orange deflector array, a cyan blue here on the impulse engines, got a bit of purple coming in to the shuttle bay there. See a bit more of the purple shading along the nacelles there, a bit here at the aft of the secondary hull. A nice shine off the material as well. I can make out some of this purpley blue dot lighting effect, almost like a star field throughout the hull material. And there's a little bit of orange lighting here at the front of the saucer and also the bridge module there as well. And you see more of that blue purpley lighting and on the phaser strips as we look at the darker areas of the underside of the ship before we rotate through. Now we come to a shield that I normally have a small rant about, and that is the Kelvin Divergence Vanity Shield. Now, looking at this on a Federation character, you get the Federation effect from the reboot films. So you've got the blue there and deflector and this light grey hull material. There is a different effect when used on KDF characters. I do wish they would split the two shields out so you could pick one or the other regardless of your faction. We've got this orange and the impulse engines here with a wee bit of a honeycomb pattern. And because of the nacelles on this particular ship in the game, we do not have the god-awful effect of the Bajor collectors, so this retains the orange and the blue on the nacelles. So for this ship, I am quite pleased to use this shield. This is normally the visual I put on it, purely because the Bajor collectors don't change. So then you see more of the classic motion picture era kind of pattern effects there with the greys. And same there on the underside. Then we come to the last shield that I have from the Phoenix store. There is others that I do plan to get, and I will do future videos just covering those shields on the ships that I've already done videos on. So this is the Section 31, so we've got a smooth hull material again in the dark grey. We've got this cyan effect here with the colouring for the deflector array. Got quite bright red honeycomb pattern there on the impulse engines. A bit more of the cyan blue there for the lights at the shuttle bay. So again, normally on the Section 31 the Bajor collector is blacked out, and the nacelles are usually a lot brighter with cyan blue, but because of the ship model these remain unchanged. So again, it's quite a nice look to this particular ship model, especially if you're not being a fan of blacking out the Bajor collectors but you do like the rest of the effect of the shield. A bit of a reddish purple colouring going down the spine there. And quite a nice looking shield. Then the last section we'll be looking at is other shields in the game that have visuals. So these are shields that you can equip to your ship, either as your main shields and upgrade as normal, or just slot them in the visual section, and just to get the effect off of them. So these are a mixture of reputation shields that you can create through the reputation system. There's one from the R&D system, and there's a couple from mission rewards. So the first up we shall have a look at is the Lukari Restoration Initiative Regenerative Shield. So this is from the Lukari Reputation. Again, similar to the Vanity Shield, it's to give your ship the Lukari look. So I've got this cyan blue here on the deflector and a bit of a lighting effect there as well. with that spectrum again there on the impulse engines, and this light coming down the spine of the ship. And the hull material in this case is more of a pale blue and pale grey effect going through it. And then as we rotate through, we get that blue shine coming across the hull material, and there's that lighting effect there going around the bridge module and down the spine of the ship. And let's look at the underside. Yeah, we've got this nice bar effect here lit up near the front of the deflector, and a bit more colouring going around the phaser strips and at other points on the hull. Then we come to the adapted M.A.C.O covariant shield. This is from the Omega Reputation. If you are playing on a KDF character, you will get the Klingon Honor Guard variant of this shield, but we'll look at them when we look at some of the Klingon ships in future videos. So we have a honeycomb pattern here on the deflector, which is pulsing in colour, as you can see here. It retains your hull material underneath, so in this case Constitution 3, so we've got the orange there for the impulse engines, but then again we've got this honeycomb pattern here and here. And you can see more of that there on the nacelle, at the bottom of the pylons there, and along the side of the top of the saucer. And then as we rotate through, you can see that blue shine come across that honeycomb pattern, and you see that yellow there for the phaser strips. And same again there as we look at the underside, so in the shade it's the black with the honeycomb, and then rotates through blue as we get the light hitting it. Again there, same one in the pylons going up to the nacelles. Next shield we're looking at is the Aegis Covariant Shield. So this is from the R&D system, and you can also craft impulse engines and deflector array to give you some more visual effects. So this one probably gives you a lot of lighting going around the ship. We've got this honeycomb pattern with a gold deflector array. Again, this is on a Federation character. The Klingon one is a slightly different effect. Again, here you see more of this lighting effect above the shuttle bay, on the pylons, and at the secondary hull here. And again, more lighting on the nacelles, the pylons, and following the seams of the ship as well. And again, just same on the saucer, the lighting around the phaser strips, some more lighting here at the front, around this huge command module with the impulse engines, and you see the pattern here on the pylons in the secondary hull. As you rotate through to the underside, you've got a bit of lighting here on the deflector array itself, back of the saucer there, and again with the phaser strips and following the seams of the material as well. Now we come to the Assimilated Regenerative Shield from the Omega Reputation. So this is the Borg shield that makes your ship looks like you've been assimilated. So we've got the green here on the deflector. Again, it's retaining your hull material, so the Constitution 3 in this case. We've got a yellowy gold here on the impulse engines, and you see some of the conduit effects here at the back of the nacelles. You can see more of that effect on the nacelle, the pylon, and the hull here. Now, when I did the Constitution refit video, I actually showed the effect that you get if you apply the shield along with the impulse engines, the deflector array, and the assimilated module from the Omega Reputation, and it does make your ship look fully assimilated by the Borg. So it's a bit of an older shield, it could use with a little bit of a touch up, but it still looks okay. And with the green there on the bridge, see more of this exposed conduit with missing hull plates throughout the saucer and the secondary hull and the pylons there. It's the same again there on the underside. Next up is the Bajor Defense Covariant Shield. So this is a mission reward. So we've got a darker grey hull material. There's some pastel reds showing around the edge of the saucer there, and the deflector array is pretty much blacked out. Got a very yellow effect here on the impulse engines. There's some of that pastel red, same effect there on the shuttle bay. And then side of the ship and the saucer there going into the side of the ship as well here at the back, and on the nacelles. So it's designed to give your ship that Bajoran look. And then we'll look at the pattern effect that it does. A lot of raised effects there on the saucer. And same again there on the underside. Now you'll notice that the phaser strips have went to this pastel red colour as well. Then we come to the Counter Command Covariant Shield from the 8472 reputation. So we've got this bluey greeny colour here for the hull material. Got the green effect there on the deflector array. Got the green for the impulse engines, and then this ridge effect here at the back of the impulse engine housing. Very nice shading effect there on the shuttle bay. See more of that ridge pattern there on the nacelles, side of the saucer, and some more of this green lighting effect at certain points on the material. As you rotate through, you'll get a bit of a metallic shine off of that greeny blue area, and you see that green light piping going down the spine of the ship, and there's a better view of the shuttle bay there. And it's the same again there on the underside, and you've got the blue and the green lighting effect there at the front of the deflector array. Then we have the Delta Alliance Unimatrix shield from the Delta Alliance reputation. So this is a bit of an older shield again, as you can tell by that effect it has here on the deflector array, not quite as vibrant or smooth as we've seen on the newer shields. So we've got a dark grey, green and gold effect here on this shield, as opposed to the very vibrant green on the Vanity Shield. Well, again, we've got the green there on the impulse engines, and a bit of gold going around the housing for it, and a bit of gold there above the shuttle bay. And we've got these patches of green lighting at certain points of the hull and the nacelle, and a bit more of the gold piping showing there. So rotate through, again a bit more of the gold piping around the saucer, a couple of parts there of the green lighting as well, and it's the same again there on the underside. You see this gold effect here to the deflector, and the gold piping around this aperture here. Next up is the Dyson Regenerative Shield from the Dyson reputation. So this is a lighter hull material compared to the Vanity Shield. We've still got this purple pattern effect as if it's been carved into the hull of the ship. Quite a light deflector array there. Retaining the orange of the impulse engines and just applying this lighter grey and darker grey hull material. And you see more there of that pinkish purpley pattern lighting effect going throughout the full length of the material, and I've got a mixture of the dark greys coming in there as well. So rotate through, and there's a better view of that design with this lighting effect. And I say it does look like it has been carved into the hull. And the same again here on the underside, and what a nice pattern effect here just in front of the deflector array. Next up is the Iconian Resistance Resilient Shields from the Iconian reputation. So the Vanity Shield had the pale green and purple effect to it, but this is a darker grey and red pattern effect to it, and then got this nice gold deflector array there. Same with the goldy colour here to the impulse engines. You see some of that red pattern there on the back of the nacelles, and the back of the ship. Having a better view of it from the side here. So again, the dark greys, the reddy orange swirl patterns going through it. See that a bit better there from the top as well. Nice design here, just both front of the registry number, bit here in the back, you've got this nice pattern going down the spine of the ship, and there's that nice little effect there at the shuttle bay. Bit of a metallic reflection to it as we rotate through, and again quite a nice pattern they've done here at the front of the deflector as well. Next up is the Nukara Crystalline Resilient Shield from Nukara Reputation. So very similar to the Vanity Shield, maybe slightly lighter. Got this nice vibrant deflector array here. The yellow again there on the impulse engines. And we've got various pattern effects there with this almost stone-like effect to the main hull itself. Yeah, it's designed to give your ship that Tholian look. You see there a bit orange showing there on the phaser arrays. Same again there on the underside. Then we have the Omega Force Shield from the Omega Force Reputation. So we've got this honeycomb effect here on the deflector array. And then rather than having a blue patchwork, this one's a more goldy yellow colour. It's retaining your hull material on the underside here as well. And a nice effect there on the shuttle bay. You can see more of that hatch pattern there. Same here on the cells. So as I say, on the Vanity Shield it was blue. On the normal shield it is a goldy yellow colour. A bit more as we rotate through. So there's the phaser strips in the gold as opposed to the blue. Same there with the shuttle bay. You see a better view top down on the cells. And then same again there on the underside. Then we come to the Romulan Advanced Prototype Shield. So this is from the new Romulus Reputation. So I've got a lot of green lighting effects going around various parts of the ship from the front, and going around the impulse housing there, around the shuttle bay. And as we look side on, we start to see some of this green shading appearing in patterns on the nacelles and on the hull, followed by this green piping outlining it. Bit of a green shine to it as we rotate through, and there's more of that green piping coming down the spine there, and more of the green shading on the saucer and the nacelles and the pylons there. And same again on the underside, a lot more of the green shading on the saucer on the underside, and same with the body of the ship. And then we've got this nice green lighting effect on the stripes here in front of the deflector array and at the bottom of it as well. Time for another trip with another Temporal Defence Initiative Regenerative Shield from the Temporal Defence Reputation. So this one's slightly lighter in colour, but we've still got all this colour spectrum patches and stripes on the hull itself. Got the cyan blue there for the impulse engines. You see that wee spectrum of colour there going on the top of the shuttle bay. You see these wee bits of patches here on the hull. This weathery effect going on in certain parts of the nacelle as well. Same on the side there of the saucer. And as we rotate through, you'll see the patches changing colour on the light as we go through. Same on that nice big strip going down the spine of the ship there. The shuttle bay's got that leathery effect to it as well, so I'll rotate around a bit. As I rotate back through the light again, you'll see all the various patches starting to change hue. Also there on the underside as well as we go through. Same with the deflector and just in front of it. Then we come to the Terran Task Force Covariant Shield. So this one's a bit darker than what the Vanity Shield was. So we've got a purple on the deflector. We've got this orange lighting showing here with some of this purpley blue lighting as well. And at the back we've got the yellow on the impulse engines. Quite a dark hull material as well, with various points of yellow lighting coming through. We've got a nice shine off it in the light. Yellow there on the command module, we've got that purpley blue there on the phaser strips and points of lighting as well. Let's look at the underside. That metallic look there to the stripes in front of the deflector array. You've got that purpley blue lighting there. Seeing the phaser strips and more of this lighting on the underside of the saucer, coupled with all this yellow lighting going on as well. And we're back to an oily effect from Tilly's review pending modified shield from the Discovery Reputation. So very similar to the Vanity Shield, it just applies this oily effect all over the ship. And you see it changing effect as we rotate through the light. And same on the underside. Now we come to the Dielectric Oscillation Resilient Shield. So this is a mission reward from one of the old Breen missions, and as such, as I've said before, this shield has not aged well at all. So it's designed to give your ship a Breen look, but if you want your ship to look like a Breen ship, get a Breen ship. So with this yellowy green effect here on the impulse engines, we see some blacks and some grey effects and patterns here on the nacelles. As I say, it's not quite as smooth a looking shield as some of the newer ones have been. I do hope that once DEC has sorted out most of the problems in the game, that they do turn their eye to either revamping these or creating new ones. There is a bit of a demand in the game for it, but not as much as obviously bug fixes and new content. But there is a little niche market for looking at the visuals on starships. Now we come to a shield that looks good on quite a lot of the ships in the game. This is the Jem'Hadar Resilient Shield. So it's a mission reward for non-Jem'Hadar characters, and if you do start as a Jem'Hadar character, you actually get the shield on your first ship. So this is the grey and purple effect. So we've got a purple here on the deflector array, see purple here on the impulse engines, and a mixture of the greys and purples on the hull material, purple going on the shuttle bay there. So it's quite a nice understated pattern to the hull. Yeah, but they're purple on the phaser strips, on the command module. So a nice look there to the shuttle bay. And same again there on the underside. And we come to the last shield we're looking at in this video. This is the Reman Prototype Covariant Shield. So this is a mission reward from one of the main story arcs. So it's generally the first one with visuals that you get in the game as you play through. We've got this bluish effect here to the deflector, and we've got a mixture of the metallic greens, light browns and reds. And we've got this white panel effect here at the back of the impulse housing with this very aqua colour on the impulse itself. See some more of those white panels there on the nacelles, on the side of the saucer there, and then a mixture of this white brown and dark and light green effects on the hull. As we rotate through, we get that nice shine off the material, very vibrant shuttle bay again there, and some more of this white panelling effect on the top. Again, it is a bit of an older shield. It's not for everybody, and you know, it's like the Denebian and Slime Devils. You like it or you hate it, but it's there nonetheless. And that concludes this look at the shield visuals on the Constitution 3 class in Star Trek Online. So thank you very, very much for watching. And remember to like and subscribe. There's links down below to Casual Sab's Discord for builds, reviews, Q&A, live streams on his channel. There's a link there to the wiki for your Star Trek information on things in the game. Same with the main Star Trek Online news page for all the blog announcements and my social media. And there's also my affiliate link to Real Merch for 10% off your Star Trek ship model orders. See, I do quite like this ship. Do wish that the nacelles would change according to the Vanity Shield. It would be nice, but then again, on certain shields I'm thankful it doesn't. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about this ship and what happened in Star Trek Picard Season 3. I could go on a massive rant about it, but all I'll say is that I don't think this should have been the new Enterprise. I think it should have been the Picard or the Shaw. Left the Enterprise F in the series, and then had they done Star Trek Legacy, they could have had this ship and then done cameos with the Next Generation crew. They'll have Worf in command of the F, Riker in command of Starfleet, Picard at the Academy, and so forth. But they wrote it the way they did. Nothing that can be done to change it. I do hope they do a Legacy series, which either we see this ship or eventually the next Enterprise, which would be the H, throughout the series, but we'll just have to wait and see. But until next time, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you around.